had a little setback. I was at work and not home, and the wind picked up, and on the bottom you can see it tore off the top layer of the tire paper there. It also completely tore the top of the shop the rest of the way, and then you can see that second layer's partially off. So with this side, it's a good thing I have two layers. The other side's not so lucky. Let me walk around there. I mean, the problem with this, really more than anything, because honestly the small amount of tar paper is not super expensive, the reality is that besides the issue of safety, which we can overcome, is the fact that it's supposed to rain tonight, and then all day overnight, all night, and then all day tomorrow till the early evening or late evening. Let's see how it turns out, but this side is the problem. I mean, that's half the roof, and I really got to get up there and smooth things out at the very least. And so it's a real bummer. Tore that piece. Everything else is just torn around the ends, and that's folded up. At least the bottom portion's totally intact, so that's one stretch I don't have to worry about. But everything else is totally out. I mean, that middle piece, gosh, it's just so much. You see, that's the problem. Just got home from work and found this, and that definitely increases the motivation to get tin roof up. I mean, look at that. Now it's just that little breeze folds it over. It's so disconnected, and so got a little bit of time before it's supposed to start raining, but you can see it's coming. So that's today's natural disaster. And I was hoping I could leave just tar paper on it for a bit, but the reality is that it's not suited for the weather. And by way of fastening it to the roof, it's not like I did anything different on that bottom one than I did for the rest. There is the piece that came off of the bottom on the other side, and there you can see that shop. The top is torn to bits. So Shelter Logic, here's your sign. Work something out. But that's that. I'll get you an update with whatever we figure out. And my dilemma here is that tarp that I'm going to have to use to cover the shop and everything in it is what I was using to cover this. And so I can't, obviously, use it for both. And there's a pressing need of, I've got to get this covered tonight, because now I got stuff in there, as you've seen, and it has to be covered. It's got to be safe from the water. So that's a bummer, but it is what it is. Luckily, we've got a couple of days of sun here. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, and rain and snow the next day. But what I've done is patched that the wrinkly part at the bottom is it's full width, Has some spots over here that are not quite the full height, but that piece is one of them that blew off. It's actually the one that blew off from right there. I just flipped it over and tucked it underneath the one that's up above it. And then luckily that second from the top section was a second layer, and the main layer there was actually in perfect condition, and so when it blew the one off the top, the bottom one stayed, and I didn't need to patch it at all. That little patch that's right there I put up just to cover and overlap the pieces that I had created a seam with, because they weren't full length previously. And if you watch the previous videos of when I was putting that up, then you'll see that is what happened. You'll see it on there, what I'm talking about. But I've got this to the same point on both sides, and I just barely got the top piece up. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. I'm creating this board supports where I'm going to screw the tin into, so those are strong enough to hold me. I'm using them as a ladder as I go up. This is a 45-degree angle. It's a 12-12 pitch, and it's not super fun to stand on, but I am able to safely make it to the top as long as I'm moving careful and make sure my footing and handholds are secure before I proceed. But that's where it's at. So this is the east side, and what I'm hoping is that what's up there will stay in place through the wind and keep the rain out until I get the tin. The tin has been ordered from a local shop that's gonna cut it to size for me. And sorry, a little wiggly climbing up here. I'm just gonna show you the other side, how it is right now. And here we go. Look over there. So I forgot, this side doesn't have the last two straight pieces going to the top. So that's the difference. Oh, it has the one on the south end, doesn't have the one on the north end here. But other than that, they're in an identical state of progress, all patched. So there shouldn't be any water problems other than the little holes where they've torn the staples through with the wind and application in some spots. But I have this side is double layered over the ridge, and that side is triple layered right at the ridge, and double layered for the full width down from that piece, from the ridge down. So from the ridge down to there, and that goes double layered from that end this way about 2/3 of the way over, and just using all of the full size pieces that I had left to patch as best as possible. And since I've got these boards up 24 on center, where I'm going to be screwing the tin roof to, that is going to be holding them down significantly better than just the staples. And so I'm not super worried about it once I get it finished, but I still have to finish the top areas. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this connected all the way up, and then, well, it looks like I didn't get the top one on the other side either, so maybe they are exactly identical in their progress. So anyway, gonna get this to all the way to the top. I've got 24 on center, and then another one that'll put the very top, and then I'll have to do one about 10 inches down I'm gonna have to check my order, see exactly how wide that is, to make sure that I've got a spot to anchor the ridge cap to underneath the flat pieces of tin. So on each side it's going to be another 3 horizontal lengths of board just like what you see, the four you see now. And then that will be it until my order comes in. They're supposed to produce it by Thursday, which is a work day for me. And so as soon as I get the chance after that, I'll go and pick up my order, bring it home. Now, to keep costs low, and it costs just under $300, what I've purchased is one bag of screws. It's a 5-pound, 250 count bag of screws, and they recommended 100 more than that, but I'm just going to be a little sparse on the screws in the center where it's already overlapped, because I'm going to have to take them out. It's 20 bucks a bag. I also chose not to purchase the drip edge. I didn't purchase drip edge because I'm going to overlap a little bit, but I also did not purchase the gable edge, and that's what would cover here. These boards, they're outside boards that are there. They've been outside for years and years. I'm not super worried about them and their condition beyond what's there, but for the roof part, what I plan to do is take that piece of tin there and cut it to that one there, and cut out sections and screw those on so that they cap the edge of these, just so that water doesn't get down under. And I'll see if I can do that today or tomorrow. I don't know. Hopefully today. So that's done, and I'm just planning on using regular screws and with that, because it's going to go underneath everything else. I'll see if I have some washers that'll fit in the screws, and that'll keep it down. But I'm just worried about that staying tight to the board. It's going to be overlapped on the top with the roofing sheets, so I'm not really worried about anything beyond that. For the gable ends, I'm not even planning on painting them to match. They're kind of a light gray, and I'm okay with that, especially since, let's see if I can zoom in here for you. See, so the roof is going to be black, a little light gray there, and that'll be all right. I'm not real worried about it. I'm not even sure if I'm going to do it, but that's the plan, and I have enough. I could do the whole thing. And those were going to be about, let's see, it was just about 70 bucks after tax, I think. And so 60 or 70. Yeah, just about 70. And so between that and the bag of screws, that saved just under 100 bucks for the whole thing, and that's a big help. So that's what I chose to do, and for now that'll be it. I'll just overlap the top so it comes over and has overhang on either end and on the bottom, and we'll see how much I can overlap at the bottom so that we are able to have that overhang and drip and still be covered properly at the top. Otherwise there's no point. But that's going to be it for now, and I just wanted to give you that update. So I'll keep it going as I finish things and share that with you. That'll be instantaneous for you. Alright, that is it. The roof is ready for metal. Just a little zoom here, and we've got patched up sections and overlaps, and these are 24 on center except for the top section, which it's from this one to the very top one's about 22 on center, and then it's a 6-inch wide piece from there. So the top 10 inches are 9 or 10 inches are covered, and that way I make sure and have a spot for the sheets and the ridge cap to attach to And that's it. It's the same on the other side. And so just wanted to share that with you. Appreciate your thumbs up and subscription. And thanks for sharing my videos. And thanks for taking the time to watch them. You'll see me next time.